As traffic around an airport becomes more congested, procedures for sequencing aircraft to an instrument approach become necessary. One of the easiest ways for ATC to ensure an orderly flow of traffic is to assign an inbound aircraft a standard terminal arrival route, or STAR. It is important to follow arrival procedures carefully. With that in mind, let's look at a STAR for a flight into Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. As you're approaching Blythe VOR at 12,000 feet, Los Angeles Center issues the following clearance.
Cessna 241, cleared to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport via the Blythe to arrival. Maintain 12000, contact Phoenix approach at Salome on 120.7.
ATC can assign you a STAR even though you have not requested the procedure, unless you have indicated no STAR on your flight plan. If you accept the clearance, you must have the charted procedure or at least an approved textual description of the STAR. Let's review the Blythe to arrival. This STAR begins at the Blythe VOR. From there, you'll follow the 082-degree radial to Salome intersection. Then you'll proceed inbound on the 285-degree radial of the Gila Bend VOR to Saddle intersection. When you reach Saddle intersection, you'll turn east and proceed inbound on the 256-degree radial of the Willie VOR. From over Arlen, you can expect radar vectors to the final approach course if runway 8 is in use. If runway 26 is being used, you should expect radar vectors prior to reaching Tukey intersection. Now that you've reviewed the arrival procedure and set the radios and navigation equipment, you can begin to plan for the approach. Tune in and listen to the ATIS broadcast to get the current weather and information about the approaches in use and the landing runways.
Wind 070 at 8, altimeter 299er2, ILS runway 8 right approach in use, landing runway 8 right. Advise Phoenix Approach Control you have information Romeo.
With this information, you can now review the specific approach chart and determine the frequencies, inbound course, descent and landing minimums, missed approach point, and the missed approach procedure. It's important to review these early in the arrival to reduce your workload later. Just before you reach Hyder intersection, Phoenix Approach issues the following clearance.
Cessna 241, cross Paint intersection at 10,000.
This clearance authorizes you to begin the descent to 10,000 feet at your discretion, as long as you are at 10,000 feet when you pass Paint intersection. To comply with the crossing restriction, you must determine when to start the descent. Since your present altitude is 12,000, you'll need to lose 2,000 feet. Assuming a 500 foot per minute rate of descent, it will take 4 minutes to reach 10,000 feet. A 4-minute descent at a ground speed of 120 knots will cover 8 nautical miles. The distance from Hyder intersection to Paint intersection is 11 nautical miles. Therefore, if you begin your descent after you pass Hyder, you should be at 10,000 feet approximately 3 miles before Paint. From Paint, it's another 8 nautical miles to Arlen, where you can expect radar vectors off the arrival to begin your approach. A descend via clearance simply instructs you to follow the altitudes published on the STAR. If you were instructed to descend via the Blythe to arrival, you would be expected to stay above the MEAs published on this chart. If ATC amends your route or altitude to something different than what is published on the STAR, it effectively cancels the procedure and places you on radar vectors. Arrival procedures make the transition from en route to approach an easy and orderly procedure for both you and ATC.